If your music's out, but the money isn't coming in, then it's not your talent. It's the missing paperwork that's not there. Artists are dropping songs every week with zero systems in place to collect the money that those songs already earned. And most of it is just slipping through your hands without you even knowing it. So you did everything they told you and you dropped a single, right? You got your song on DSPs, you promoted it online, but your streams aren't actually turning into income. And of course, you're tired of chasing numbers without nothing to show for it. So I've been in your shoes before. Like, that's why I can make these videos, and I'm not just blowing smoke. The truth is, the money you make from music is roughly 10% of your entire gross revenue at any given time, and it is hidden in the registrations. And if your music isn't registered properly, then you're already owed money that no one is going to chase for you, right? So people like me are going to end up getting it. That's a story for another day, but I'm just telling you what's going to happen. Now, in this video, I'm breaking down like the 4 key money traps that are stopping your music's revenue from reaching your pockets, and how to fix every single money leak in 1 week, from PRO registrations to mechanical royalties to digital performance royalties to neighboring rights. And the one thing that doesn't fit but is crucial is storytelling content. That's going to be a bonus. This is going to trigger the revenue that you so desperately need. So let's get your paperwork and your payment together first. Now, here's a disclaimer. If you don't have some base components like an LLC and you don't have your sound exchange account, which I'll talk about in a minute, then it's going to take you roughly 60. But if you got at least an LLC started, we can get this knocked out in 7 days. All right, check it out. And if you got your sound exchange, we can knock this out in roughly 7 days. Now, PRO registration and performance royalties. Let's break it down. If your song is being played anywhere, live, on radio, on TV, in clubs, and you're not registered with the Performance Rights Organization or PRO, you're losing money. BMI, ASCAP, CSAC, I don't care which one, pick one. Well, CSAC's got to invite you. But register as a writer and a publisher. This is how you collect performance royalties when your music is used publicly. Don't wait for someone else to do it. Register today and lock the door behind your royalties so people like me don't get it. And here's a trick. If you don't have approval on all splits, check this out. You can reserve splits at the PRO by listing that person who refused to get on the split sheet as NA on BMI or NS on ASCAP. So you can keep this train rolling. Cause I want you, we gotta get this money, man. If anybody don't wanna do business and they don't have a PRO account, I'll at least do good business with you by reserving your percentage. But I gotta keep this train rolling, bro, cause you stopping progress. You don't wanna play the game. Now, we gotta move on to mechanical royalties, and we gotta talk about your hidden bag, cause this is really where I make money from you guys who don't register your stuff. Now, most artists don't even know mechanical royalties exist, and that's why publishers collect on their behalf. Right now, that's supposed to be you, but this is the money owed when your song is reproduced digitally or physically. And if you're not registered with the MLC, Music Reports, and Harry Fox, all 3 of them, then you're not getting this check. It's not automatic and you have to claim it. The MLC is for domestic digital mechanicals and Harry Fox is for domestic physical mechanicals, as well as international digital and physical mechanical royalties. Right now, Music Reports collects on digital mechanical royalties for, like numerous individual platforms like TikTok and like Snapchat. This is one more leak of funds that you need to tighten up on so you can increase your revenue, okay? Now, I'm gonna get your money if you don't collect it from the MLC. I did a video called The Dark Side of Music Publishing. I think it was in part 2, but in part 1, I expressed the issue on how I was getting extra royalties, and the MLC is very clear. You don't collect your royalties, we amicably split it up against everybody else that has market share in our system. And so I just be getting paid extra money because y'all don't get your money. It is what it is. Now let's talk about your digital performance and neighboring rights, which equals your global passive income. If you've ever had your music played through the Pandora platform, and that could be Pandora for the public or Pandora for business, satellite radio, music choice, dash radio, internet radio, those plays generate digital performance money, otherwise known as a digital performance of the master recording. And if you own the master, then you're owed royalties, at least from these sources. And this is coming from Sound Exchange. And if your music is played internationally, well, that's called neighboring rights, which most American artists just don't know about, but it's actually the same thing. So you want to sign up with Sound Exchange and signed the international agreement to get the neighboring rights in addition to the digital performance royalties. That's yours. Okay. Now, here's why getting paid with an LLC is going to be better than getting paid individually, because I think that a lot of people just want to go and set this up. Man, I don't need all that stuff you're talking about, man. You know, all that business stuff, man. Anybody need all that? Okay, well, then don't get no money then. But most artists think that allowing any of these agencies to just drop money in your personal bank account is the best way to collect everything, right? But the truth is, it's not even close. And the real reason that we have this problem that you and I are talking about is you don't know that the structure of how you collect money matters just as much as where you collect it. Just as much. So set up an LLC, open a business bank account, and funnel all your earnings through it. You'll immediately notice how much easier it is to track, save, and scale your direct-to-fan ecosystem. Plus, you'll gain the financial clarity and legal protection that allows you to operate like a real business, qualify for funding, and even negotiate better deals because you're seen as a professional, not as a hobbyist. I'm telling you, you look like a hobbyist on the back end. When you look at the spreadsheets and you look at who owns what, people can tell, oh no, this is a business, that's not a business, that's somebody's mama, man, you don't know what's on the back end. So you want to set it up right on the front end. You know what I'm saying? Now, how you're going to funnel this money into this machine matters. This is the storytelling stuff I was talking about earlier, because we need to push money into these buckets that are leaking money right now. So now that you got the business set up, your LLC, your accounts, your registrations, all that good stuff, let's talk about feeding the machine for a little bit. And this is not going to be the end all be all, but this is how we're going to get it started. So here's the part that a lot of you all are going to miss. You don't just set up the systems. You have to drive trust into them, because fans don't stream just because you posted a link. They stream when they trust the energy behind it. They buy when they feel like you see them. And the only way this happens is if you trigger curiosity. Don't sell the music first, sell the moment around the music. Use reels, shorts, captions, and emails to hint at the world behind your song. And then you've got to prove that you're reliable, consistent, and storytelling will do this with quality visuals, and showing up on the same platform in the same tone builds emotional safety for your fans. Storytelling is going to do all of that for you. So lastly, you're going to make buying feel like alignment and not effort. Don't make it difficult to get what you got. The more your fans feel like you reflect them or the values, then the easier it is for them to stream, save, follow, or buy with no resistance. The key is to break the resistance. That's your key, all right? So this is how the income machine gets fed, not just with traffic, but with trust. Trust is what powers your play count, your merch sales, your sync placements, and your repeat customers. And without it, your systems starve. Okay. Now, most artists will believe that simply uploading to a distributor and letting them collect all their money, including publishing revenue, is the way to go. I'm not faulting you for that. But however, it's actually the worst move, because the 10% that we talked about earlier in the beginning gets chopped down to 7% early on, reducing the money you earn from your music as a whole. And this leads to false arguments like your music doesn't make money, when it actually does. It's a little bit, but it makes some. And it does, but you cut out your money before you even got started. And this mindset actually came from Song Trust. Song Trust did this joint, okay? Telling artists that they weren't capable of collecting their own publishing, and it worked, because they're now making millions from artists who didn't want to do the work themselves. I just gave you the game, right? Letting someone else getting paid for no effort, because it's all automated. And this leads you to a position where other publishers can't do deals with you because your works are tied up. And even if you can get out of that Song Trust deal, there's still a sunset clause in it. You see what I'm saying? This is why I don't like Song Trust. Song Trust, sometimes it might work depending on how big you are. Sometimes it might not work depending on how little you are. But take it from me, I didn't put these plaques on the wall, these right here, from letting someone else do the work, okay? The thing is, if you're going to play the game, don't you think that you should learn the game? These came from music publishing. This came from your approval to say, hey, you know what you're talking about. And I've been talking about this for a long time. You see what I'm saying? And I'm still using my same system. Many people are making a lot more money than me using my system, but it works. You know what I mean? And this is the age-old publishing system that real publishers use. I'm giving you the keys to that. Now, this is what your future is holding. This is what's going to look like when you do this. Because you don't just get paid more, you get paid forever. If you set it up right, you build a system that collects money in the background while you focus on making. And most importantly, you stop creating from a place of lack because you finally feel the results of your effort. And if you're joining the D2C, direct to consumer and streaming 2.0 movement, then you may, just maybe, you may want to reinforce your direct to fan ecosystem with your own publishing company and personal record label to keep the money in-house. So that way you don't end up worrying about all this other stuff, because I'm going to show you how to do this step by step. I'm gonna hold your hand visually through this process. Now, right now you got a choice. You can keep leaving money on the table, as many of you all will do, or you can follow a system that's already working. Guaranteed, tried and true, people know it through and through. And the real question isn't shouldn't you do this, is how much longer can you afford to let me get your money? Because every month at the MLC, I'm getting your money. That's what's sad. I'm getting all your money. Click the link below to access my 60-day record label system to get step-by-step instructions on how to set all of this up yourself, especially if you live in the United States, keeping the money in-house and cutting out the middleman. That's who I built this for. That's who I built this for. You guys. Because the truth is, this system works whether you do it the long way yourself or you do it the quick way with me. And let me say, you are competent enough to do this. Even if your money and your time is low, that's not the real issue that you have going on in your mind. You have an apprehensive anxiety about this whole process because maybe you've seen too much information and you heard too much, and now you're just like, yo, I can't, I'm overwhelmed at this point. And I ain't here to do that. I've already cleared this up. Look, before I started talking about this on YouTube, there were tons of people who were not talking about this. They saw my blueprint, they watched my videos, and they tried to build it on their own, and then they're in and they're out. They have no idea what they're talking about because these people do not build businesses. This is what we do at Music Money Makeover. I'm a money person, and you can be one too, especially when you pair it with the 60-day record label course system, whatever you want to call it, and trust yourself to take it step by step. You don't need perfect conditions. You just need to start with what you have. You just need to start with what you got and watch how far that can take you. Now, of course, you're gonna watch a couple YouTube videos on this to validate the process. I got a free document and a free mini course that will validate this process. I don't want you to go looking everywhere because I guarantee you there's a lot of people who do not explain this, and a lot of this information is behind paywalls, okay? I had to pay a lot to get this information. Let me break down the real costs of just trying to figure this out because you think that you're trying to save money. Number one is you're gonna waste weeks trying to piece together conflicting information and advice from creators who, don't even run a label themselves or a publishing company themselves for that matter. Meanwhile, your uncollected royalties, well, they're just disappearing into the black box. This is how I'm getting your money. Number two is you'll start doubting yourself, and the constant confusion will make you believe that you're the problem when really it's just bad information. And this is the big one. You'll either stay overwhelmed and paralyzed, which many of you all will, or you'll finally take control and build something real. But either way, you'll stay stuck in the artist hustle, or you become the CEO of your music career. Which one you want to do, man? Because I want to see you win. I do. I really honestly do. But this isn't about chasing a hit. It's about building a machine that keeps paying you long after the music drops. If you were struggling with understanding why your royalties aren't showing up, relying on distributors to collect everything while cutting your profits, or feeling like your music career isn't financially sustainable, then you now have the means to become profitable independent artists or label owners that you've always wanted to be, kind who collects checks in the background while focusing on creating impact. Someone who knows where the money is and knows how to get it and knows how to keep it flowing. Music Money Makers, if you make music, you should always make money. Log on to musicmoneymakeover.com, jump into the 60-day record label course beneath this video. Join me in the Music Money Makers community. Grab the free stuff, like, comment, share, and subscribe on this video, and I'll see you next time. Peace.